Part of what I do in my research time is to look at the trends, not only within us here in America, but I look at trends in Africa. I look at trends in the Caribbean. I look at how, people from those regions come into America and how they get acclimated. I look at also how this system pick and choose certain people to come into this system. And I'm going to talk about that a little later. You know that racism, white supremacy is a 24/7 operation. They take no days off. When you think you have a victory, they're already planning to get you back. They're looking at how they were defeated and making sure that that's not going to happen again. Now, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he stated that our unity is bigger than an atomic bomb. Now, we look at a lot of things that Elijah Muhammad said, and a lot of it is coming true today. Our unity, if we look at it just here in America, when we came together during the Civil Rights Movement, we got a lot of things done. We got the proverbial death rope off our necks. And so much so that America was turned upside down due to the unity that we had here. At the same time, our unity was so inspirational across the water to African nations. They start getting their freedom and their independence. At the same time, we start getting things done for us here in America. So during that time period is when you start seeing Ghana and all these different countries get up from under British rule, etc. Right? So now you have all these free African states based off of some of the energy that come from here in America. It came from our unification. We have fought the fight for a very, very long time. Now, at the same time, racism, white supremacy didn't take a day off. They understood that if these black people stay unified, then this is going to become a problem. So then LBJ and the Democrat Party started trying to find a ways to give black people something, but at the same time benefit. Racism, white supremacy don't give you anything unless they can benefit off of it at the end of the day. Racism, white supremacy believe in a long game, not the short game. See, black people's greatest problem worldwide, all of you the same. I don't care where you say you're from, what your culture is, what your tribe is, y'all all the same. And it's amazing to me how I see that. The biggest problem that black people have is you worrying about right now, today, and far as you go is next week. When racism, white supremacy is looking at 5 years down the line, 10, 15, 20 years, they play the long game because long term gives you the greatest payoff and investment. So you got to be patient and wait. A lot of us don't want to be patient and wait on some things. So in the short term, when we talk about LBJ giving this welfare system, right, at the same time shipping off jobs to China that black men had, manufacturing jobs in the 70s, so we start right there. The key was to break up and divide black people, okay? At the same time, in 1967, how we're going to have a plan to import people that we choose into this country so we can further break up, so we can further divide here in America. Because when black people get together, something happens. Understand something, there was no need to sign an immigration bill, none. We had just got our civil rights. So why is it that you want to sit here and sign some immigration bill? Well, that was done to benefit racism, white supremacy. Okay. And at the time period, we didn't know any better. We were still thinking, hey, we just want freedom for people that want to come in and have some freedom, justice and equality. We're on that. We've always been loving people. See, the biggest thing that we have as black people worldwide, it is our greatest strength and also our greatest weakness. We have a heart. Having a heart makes you human. Having a heart means you are a loving person, but also having a heart to someone that has no heart, someone who's very cold-hearted and diabolical, that is your greatest weakness because they can play on that. They can easily deceive you because you have a heart, because you want to believe in people. You want to see the best out of people. That's been always our Achilles heel. And the issue is we have to learn how to have heart with those that we should have it with, and learn how to turn it off with others who we shouldn't have any kind of heart at all towards. So as racism, white supremacy is going through the process of trying to break up the black family, which the black family brought the black community together, the black community together brought the world together. I'm talking about the black world together, and also people overseas that heard about the civil rights movement. They were doing all this in stages to keep you broken apart, understand? So you had the welfare come in, cause, strife in the community. While that's going on in the 70s, you look at the crack epidemic in the 80s, more planned attacks to break up the black family. Then as that's going on, black people getting killed, black people being mass incarcerated. Then you get to the 90s with Clinton. He signs the mass incarceration bill. And now the black family is just really decimated. And then you have these problems that we have in the black family now because it goes back to that defeat that they suffered during the civil rights movement. And they knew they had to break up your unity. OK, so now we're fighting each other over problems that was never created by black people. So we'll say single mothers is the problem. This guy's the problem. Pookie and Ray Ray was created by white supremacy. We talk about Pookie and Ray Ray and what they do. It was not a Pookie and Ray Ray issue when the black family was together, the unification of the black family. You understand? We didn't have a Pookie and Ray Ray problem. Yes, you had people that did things in the streets, but it wasn't like it is today. And the Pookie and Ray Ray problem isn't as bad as it was in the 90s and in the 80s. It's actually been going down. So that is a good thing. But what I'm telling you is racism, white supremacy don't take a break. Then when your family is broken apart, you don't have the men around. Now inject the new attacks they're doing against black males, especially heterosexual black males that you're seeing today, the things they're trying to push on heterosexual black males and our children with the alphabet agenda. OK, so it doesn't take any breaks, and yet we still have survived. Now, if you go overseas, they've had their independence, and yet they still could not get the white man's foot off of their neck either. They have got them to say, you're a Ghanaian, you're a Nigerian, you're a South African, you're this tribe, you're that tribe, and everyone is against each other. But at the end of the day, who benefits from the division? Do black people benefit from our families being broken apart? Do black people benefit from tribal beefs? Now, all of us is considering ourselves different tribes, but who's benefiting? And if we look at today, when people talk about their tribe, where they from, and even if you call yourself a tribe here, because that's what's happening here in America too, black Americans will consider themselves their own tribe. Now, what I will say, let's go ahead and put this out there. It's nothing wrong with saying we are a distinct people from a distinct area. This is our customs, our cultures, etc. There's nothing wrong with that. We're not all the same. That's beautiful, actually, that we're not all the same. Yes, we may all look the same in some areas with skin tone, but we are different cultures. And we have to say we are different cultures. We are different people. That's a beautiful thing, because you have to understand, black people is the most diverse people on the planet. If our hair is so diverse, it can be straight, it can be curly, it can be kinky. You can do hundreds of things with black hair. We come in many different skin tones. We come in many different features because we are the original people on the planet. Well, how come you think we won't be different in culture, different in traditions, etc.? I'm a black American, and my ancestors was taken from the continent. I looked at it, how they came to Virginia, and they went from Virginia to the sugarcane plantations in Louisiana. I traced that. So my lineage do come from Africa, but I do have lineage here as well. And I'm proud of what black Americans have done in this country. And when I go to Africa, I'm not going to transform myself into a Kenyan or transform myself into a South African. I'm going to represent for black America when I go. And I will proudly tell them I am a black American. Why? Because I'm not ashamed of being a black American. I'm not. Because I come from good stock. I come from a warrior class. I come from a great people. So I have no problem going anywhere in the world and telling you, yes, I am a black American. That's who I am, an African American, whatever one you want to say. I have no problem with that. None. And just as much as I want to learn from their culture, I want to learn from, you can learn from mine as well. And maybe I can teach you a few things and you can teach me. There's nothing wrong with that, being a distinct group of people. But the problem is, remember, racism, white supremacy is constantly working worldwide. I told you guys this. It's not just relegated to America. They don't want us to realize that we all in the same boat, literally. We are. Let's start with America first. In America, remember, divide and conquer. So they already kind of fragmented us, and we're not fragmented in the way I was talking about earlier. We're fragmented on class. We're fragmented in religion. You know, just all kind of ways we're fragmented, okay? But usually with black Americans, it could take one event and we super cop up, and they know that about us. We'll put aside all our differences and super cop up. They know it. It'll just take one or two incidents and we say, man, forget that, man. Pookie and Ray Ray are coming together with the educated brothers and the blue collar brothers and everybody in between. We'll super cop up at one time. That's the difference with us versus maybe other people across the seas. That's the beautiful thing about us, because we are living in the same system, regardless if we have any kind of differences. So to cause a division, what has been happening is that they don't like the fact that black people are talking about reparations now. They don't like that because they know they owe that. And they know that is a guilt and shame that they can never make right until they pay the reparations. They walk around, listen to the white supremacists, what they say. I don't have white guilt, because there's a guilt laid upon them for the torture, the pain, the suffering that they have done to our ancestors. It is a guilt put on them. That's why our mere presence make them feel a certain sort of way. You understand? Because our mere presence is a testament to our survival. It's a testament to the terrorism they have done to us. It's a testament to slavery. It's a testament to Jim Crow. It's a testament to everything they ever done. Just your presence. That's why they get so mess with y'all about that bull, because your presence literally brings that out of them, because it's a reminder of their legacy. We talk about the legacy of slavery, but they have the legacy of the slave master, the legacy of the torturer, the legacy of the rapist, the pedophile. That is their legacy. They don't like to feel that way. That's why I see when other groups come in, see if Nigerians or Caribbeans come in, they didn't enslave them here. They didn't do that. So they don't have no problem with them, Haitians. But when it comes to you, me, they looking at in the face the product of what they have done. So, of course, that's why they say the statement, I don't have white guilt. You understand? So what they tried to do to create more division, because they noticed that more black people are traveling now. They never had that before. And more black people are going to Africa, going to the Caribbean, going wherever they're going, but they're going. They say, well, you know, remember Memorandum 46 says we got to keep the black Americans and Africans separated, because if they get together, they're going to mess up our interest in the African continent. So one way they can keep division is they approve and vet which Africans could come over here. OK, same thing through the Caribbean. They're vetted. They just don't open up the doors. They come on in. Now, south of the border, that's not being vetted. That's why they're having a big problem with that, because they just flooding the border down there. But they have a good control over the blacks that's coming into this country. Do you seriously think they're going to let a brother like Julius Malema immigrate here, or a sister that think like that? Do you think they're going to let a sister or a brother like PLO Lumumba come over here in mass, a bunch of them? Do you know they got plenty of them on the African continent? Plenty of them. You can look in South Africa alone. You got the EFF, you got brothers and sisters in the BLF. You got all kind of different people that will stand up against racism, white supremacy. And I'm like, let those brothers and sisters come in. That's the ones I want over here. You know what I'm saying? I want them to come join the ranks. Because I know good and well they're going to be on the team. No, they let the Africans come in. That's the ones they want. And then at the same time, what they do to add insult to industry to make us fight with them is that they will give them money. They will put them in certain positions. Okay. And then they will say, hey, go on and live your life. And then they will come in. They will be, you know, happy that they're here, of course, because let me tell you something. Third world poor and third world struggling is not first world. I can tell you from what I saw. We live in luxury. Even our poorest live in luxury compared to what a lot of them grow up and deal with. So they come over here. Some of them have attitudes toward black Americans, but all that's done by design. They don't want the brothers and sisters to come in. They have solidarity with us. So then as we seen, hey, wait a minute. Why y'all coming over here, you know, talking to us any kind of way? You're siding with racism, white supremacy against us. You're speaking against our fight for reparations. That is a problem. But understand, that was done by design. That was not done just, oh, they coming over and all of a sudden all of them. So the way America works is propaganda. So we would say that, well, all these black immigrants, they don't like us like that. Now, not all black immigrants come in on that African, but they purposely try to let more of them come in. And a lot of times the immigrants that's coming in come from good families with money, because your average African can't really just come over like that unless they're getting help from the U.S. government. So a lot of times they have money when they come in. But you have to remember, they want to keep any kind of black unity separated, whether it's from the black immigrant, the black American, okay? Now, all at the end of the day, we have the same problem as they do on the continent. Remember, we just saw in South Africa where they were pissed off at the Kenyans and pissed off at the Nigerians, and they went just looting their businesses and everything, okay? But yet, when Meghan Markle and Prince Harry came, they all happy and celebrating that they show up down there. Now, before it was all, hey, man, you know, we're not liking all these different people in our country or whatever. But then when they show up, oh, I'm just happy. I'm rolling out the red carpet for these people. You understand? So who's benefiting? Now, prior to that even happening, what they were doing over there, they was all unified about getting the land back. They was all unified, remember? And then now all of a sudden you're fighting each other. Who benefits from that? Okay, the white supremacists benefits from that. So if you look at the same issue and problem, right? You say, well, we're not the same as those Africans. Well, are we? We built the greatest country in the world, and yet we don't benefit from this country like everyone else. We have some benefit, but not as much. Other people come into this country, step on our backs, disrespect us at the same time. We are gunned down. We are treated like fifth-class citizens in this country, right? The architects of America, when we should benefit the most out of this country. And yet people just coming in the door is getting money from the U.S. government to put businesses in the black neighborhoods. And then we get upset and we see that, but who is giving them the money? Who's letting them in? Racism, white supremacy. That's letting them in. That's giving them the money. On top of the people that have been here forever, been here for years and built this country. So they're benefiting off the country that we built. Go over there to African nations. They have trillions upon trillions of dollars of resources in their countries. But yet a lot of them are third world poor. A lot of them. You have a few Negroes that's doing them all dirty, that's in leadership, living very well. Whites, Chinese, etc. come in benefiting off of their countries. They're extracting oil now from Kenya. They've been getting all kind of gold, diamonds, you know, you got people like De Beers and all these different companies owning the diamond mines, when those diamond mines should be owned by Africans. They should not be leaving to go to no America, no UK when they have all the wealth right there. They have all the resources. For instance, 80% of your chocolate comes from African nations. It don't even come from nowhere else. If you cut off the chocolate from African nations, you're not about to have any chocolate anymore. You understand? All your diamonds that you like to go buy in the store comes from African nations, but yet they don't benefit from it. So it's literally the same thing. And actually, to me, this situation is a little worse than ours, because you got the resources and yet you don't benefit. But at the same time, it's like America. We built this country, but everyone else is benefiting off of it way more than we're benefiting off of it. So what am I saying about all of this? We are different, and it's okay to say we're different. It's okay. It's okay to say you're from the Caribbean. It's okay to say you're from Africa. It's okay for you to wave your flag. It's okay for us to wave ours. That's okay. I'm cool with all of that. But at the end of the day, when we are fighting against each other, what are we fighting about? Because I always analyze that too. We may say, well, y'all come over here and y'all do this and y'all do that. So basically, you're fighting against white supremacy. White supremacy is the one to let them in. White supremacy put them in a position to have us fighting for a resource, because that's basically what it is. You're fighting for a resource. The thing is, they're going to always look at anything that will cause a division with black folks and try to exploit that division for their own purposes. They don't want us to ever join together as a people and say we are one group of people. We are different tribes. We're different clans, or whatever you want to call us, but we are together against racism, white supremacy, and we are about getting us free here in America. We want to be free in the Caribbean. We want to be free in the nations that we are in Latin America. We want to be free in Africa. We all should work together for that freedom. If you say, I'm not worried about them, I'm worried about home first. But one thing about white supremacy is they are multitaskers. They're worrying about home. They're worrying about abroad. So this is what you do. You sit down with the people and say, look, okay, you're the home team. You focus on issues at the home front. You over here, we're focusing on issues that's abroad. That's the way that works. So that means you got people focusing on home and people focusing on abroad. There's nothing wrong with that. The reason why they stay on top is white supremacy does not keep themselves in the shores of America. They are in every country doing something, trying to divide and conquer those countries so they could benefit at the end of the day. And we as black folks got to get out of, number one, being so short-sighted and understand the long game, and then understand that you can delegate tasks to certain people. And when you delegate that task, hey, the home team who works at home, who try to benefit home, they don't attack the people that's working abroad. And the people that's working abroad don't supposed to be attacking the people that's doing the work on the home front. But you have to do it like that. What America call it? Foreign policy. Well, blacks got to have a foreign policy as well. So we shouldn't be attacking the brother or sister that maybe want to go to an African nation and see what's going on. The thing is, if you go, be a representative of black America. Represent us right. Speak about us in a great light, in a beautiful light. And then see what you can do, what you can arrange. And then even if you want to set up business, and see how you can take that benefit back to the home front as well, and maybe connect it that way. So your foreign policy is benefiting the home team. You understand? There's nothing wrong with that. So you can be benefiting them in Africa and maybe helping create some jobs at the same time. Some things you connected to over there, maybe you're getting a plug over there, and you can bring it back to the home front with black businesses here, where you can cut out, you know, some of the middleman that you have to deal with. I'm just saying that it's ways to benefit each other. Now, you're going to have these ornery people. You're going to have negative black people no matter where they come from. America, African nations, Caribbean, whatever. You're going to have negativity. But understand, these other groups that's coming in at home, you know what they do? They have that policy. They come here to this nation. They get set up here. And what are they doing? They're sending money constantly back to their countries, taking care of their people there. They have a foreign policy when they come over here. They want to stay connected to the family and everything while they're doing things here, while they're building businesses, etc. Well, we should be doing the exact same way. You have people saying, well, I'm, got lineage here and I don't like a Pan-African. Well, look at a Pan-African as just someone that wants to be on the global team. That's all. You work the home team, you send him or her to go do the global work. There's nothing wrong with that. At the end of the day, we all love being black. That's who we are. Black people are the only people I know that I see that will be against each other for stupid reasons. Like, you will say, I don't like them pro-blacks. You are black, you fool. Like, I don't understand why you say that. You're black. Pro means for, so you're for black people. Like, why would you say that? Now, you may disagree with some ideology that they may have, but in the day, they're black. I don't see no white folks saying, I can't stand them pro-whites. All them pro-whites, I can't stand them. And let me tell you about these pro-whites. Let me tell you about these pro-Hispanics. Let me tell you about these pro-Asians. Nobody does that. That's why people look at us as silly. People look at us and shake their head about us because we don't know if we coming or going. That's what I'm trying to put in proper context. You want to be on the home team, be the home team, fix the home front. The Pan-Africanists and anybody else that want to be on global tip, let them do the foreign policy work for the black American community. And at the same time, let's not attack our home team either if they want to work at the home front. We don't need to attack the global team for trying to do work in the global scale. Because we need to do that all over the place. Connect historically. Look, a lot of our stories in Africa. And if you want to connect the slave trade and what has happened to us here and who's responsible for bringing us over here to even bring information for our reparations claim, we need to get the information from there too. So the global team could be on the ground getting that information. I'm saying is we got to work together as black people. Whether here in America, whether you're in Africa, we got to work together. Nobody that want to work together, forget them, let them go on somewhere. I don't care about them. All I care about is our people coming together, whether you're here in America, or is in Africa, Caribbean, etc. That's where I'm at with it. I will fight for reparations. I will fight for our children here and bang on that drum all day long. But also, I have no problem, and I definitely have no problem being part of the global team as well. See, I can do both. I'm a multitasker. Some people aren't a multitasker like that, but I am. And if you just want to do home front issues, do the home front. But let's not be attacking, each other like that. And understand when racism, white supremacy is involved with keeping divisions going, they benefit. Because we attacking you because you from the Caribbean, you from Africa, if you coming in from African nations attacking us as black Americans, who benefits from that? Racism, white supremacy. None of us get a dollar. None of us get crap out of attacking each other. Nothing. So what's the point of it? No, we need to get together and some black Americans need to go over there to African nations and do their thing and get some access to some of those resources and see how you can benefit that nation and also benefit black America. Understand? See, I'm all about thinking about the bigger picture. I'm not on this smaller picture thing because even though I believe in the fight for reparations, I do 100%, and this government owes money for what they did to us here in America. I'm thinking like, okay, if we do get the reparations, then what? Because I know racism. I know white supremacy. It's going to be more of a target on our back the moment they pay us the reparations. So you better have everything set up ahead of time. How you going to protect your money from sabotage? How you going to protect your communities, etc. That's what the global team is for. The global team should have had everything set up already prior to you getting the reparations payments. Because everybody saw reparations. Okay, I think about it. Now you got the reparations, then what? Do you think that they fundamentally going to change America and how they feel about us? Trust me, they're going to change it even more against us if they have to pay us. So you got to make that plan in the back of your mind. Understand? But at the end of the day, we need to come together. Like I say, anybody all this pro-black this, I don't like this one and I don't like that one. That's stupid. That's stupid. I'll say it again. It's stupid. No other group says that. None. They're all working together to build up their groups. And the moment we always fighting each other because we may be a little different in the thinking process, then that's why we don't get nowhere as black people. Let's come together and have that unity that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad talked about that is bigger than an atomic bomb. That scares racism, white supremacy. Not all this, even if you say you're not going to vote, that don't scare them. It may scare the Democrats, but in the whole system, it doesn't scare them. Because Trump, at the end of the day, he's not going to attack other white people, no matter if it's a Democrat. He's not. But if something goes on, it's going to be against us. So leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about this particular commentary. But I'm very serious about this. Think about what I'm saying. Think about it. Don't just get in your feelings, because a lot of people get in their feelings about certain things I'm saying. But we have to think about it, because racism, white supremacy is a 24/7 operation. The stage tries to destroy us globally. And we got to always find ways to not only counter that, but we have to also understand who benefits from our division.